Hey guys, welcome to the project build. And if you're a subscriber and returning, thank you. It means a lot right now for you to subscribe. So if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I do lots of builds like this on my channel already. I've got this workbench build that's on wheels, so you can slide in and out. I've also done screw organization here and shelf. Done a few things as well as kayak battery box. But today, what we're doing is giving a bit of an update on where I'm currently at with my draw system and 12 volt power in the back of my Toyota Fortuner. So far I've got in here fridge slide with tie downs, got a slide out shelf, which I'm going to show you in a second, and my battery and 12 volts stored in this box out the back here with a DC charger and solar charger on that. I'll show you all of that in a second. But essentially it's a bit of an update and a little bit of a where to from now and where we're heading with this build, because I've got plenty of material here, got some plywood, etc. I've got some more drawer slides because I will be putting in a drawer in here as well, but we'll go through that in a minute. So stay tuned and I'll show you all what it looks like. Okay, let's give you that little bit of a demo. So all of this is all attached to a false floor. Okay, this false floor is made out of a form ply, 17 millimeters, and you can see it fits all the way around because I traced this on with the existing floor mat, so it fits perfectly the whole way around, covered in a carpet, marine carpet. It's then all bolted down through here, which goes down to the existing lock-in mounts for the third row seat. So I've removed the third row seats. They used to be bolted into here and over to that side as well. Remove them, saved quite a substantial amount of weight as well as space in the back here, and then I've bolted it down. So there's actually 4 mounting locations, 2 bolts in each. So there's actually 8 bolts holding the false floor down. That makes it then really easy to mount all of the other accessories and things like that on there. So this is all made as a modular system, so I can unbolt this. For instance, if I wanted boot space back, all I have to do is unbolt this fridge slide. That'll come out. I can leave the battery and the 12 volt in there if I like, or same thing, I can unplug it. I'll show you the Anderson plug connectors there in a second. That'll all come out as well. I've got all my boot space back. It only takes a couple of minutes to do so. But essentially, I'll show you how this drawer slide works. I'm going to try and do it one-handed, so bear with me. Okay, so I've just unlatched it. This will slide all the way out, like so. It is on a 225 kilo drawer slides, so I can practically sit on this thing and the whole suspension of the car goes up and down, and the actual slide doesn't move. But here's an easier look at how it's bolted down. So it's bolted down here to the actual false floor. Nice and clean. I've carpeted the whole thing because I want it to look nice. It's not necessary, but I just wanted it to look really, really nice and clean. So you can see how far out this actually slides, which is fantastic. Okay. And now the actual table can slide out from here as well, but there's not enough space right there, so I'm going to slide this back in. Like so. It's a really tight fit because I didn't want anything falling down the sides here when I wasn't using this as a fridge slide. I can actually store stuff in here and it's not going to fall down the gaps. It's nice and tight. Okay, now with this, okay, got a nice little pull-out table. Nice timber table, polyurethane top coat on there. Nice and solid. Again, bit overkill, but they're on a 225 kilo drawer slide. So again, I can put all my weight on that and actually pushes the car suspension up and down. So still, I can practically sit on that if I wish. But it's nice and clean set up. Close that up again. Again, just lock it. Now I am planning on putting a bit of a bar or a tube over this side. I've actually got a little bit of leftover steel bar here. I'm going to paint it all black And then I'm going to make a bit of a bracket and some stands on there. So it'll sit up around about there. Make it just a one-handed operation so that I can grab the bar, push down. It's going to push down on both of these locks, so I can push and pull all using a bar. So keep an eye out for that. That's coming up in a future episode as well. Alright, and that's practically the fridge slide. I'll show you a demonstration with the fridge in here and how it fits with the tie downs. I will be putting a fridge cage box over the top. Again, keep an eye out for that. And then I'm making a false floor that'll sit straight over the top of here. It'll match up with that lid, and then the lid on top of a drawer I'll put in here so that it's all nice and flat. I can even put then the existing floor mat back on top and use it just as a normal boot space. Okay, so that's how the fridge slide looks. In terms of the 12 volt, if I open this up, not super pretty in here, but I've got 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. I've got a couple of relays which power the side lights. I'll show you those in a second. A couple of switches and a some plug. I'll show you what that looks like on the other side. Yep, nothing too special, but worth pointing out. And then this just snaps back on. Perfect. Okay, and as I said, drawer's going to be in here with, again, 225 kilo drawer slide, so it matches this side. And then that's going to slide out and have a drawer space with a flat top. So it'll be nice and flat over the top here. So consider subscribing if that interests you and how I do all this, because it will be coming up very shortly. I've got material for it, I've got the carpet for it, just need to put it together. Alright, so what I'm going to do is jump into the back so that I can show you what 12 volt looks like, but also how I power on these steady lights. Try and get that to focus. These steady lights here, because that's all wired up for camping as well. Yeah, it's coming along, it's pretty cool. Alright, so I've just folded up these second row seats, and you can see a little bit dirty, mind that. I've got a bit of extra space because I extended this false floor here out so that I've got all the storage space underneath, which I can store recovery gear. I've got ratchet straps in there as well. That all just slides in and stays in. It's on these little feet, okay, and provides a lot of support. So this is a fridge slide that we were showing you earlier. I'm just going to jump in here so you can see kind of the brains behind the 12 volt at this point. So we've got here the Renogy DC to DC onboard battery charger with MPPT solar charging. So that's really good, really handy, because I can just plug in my solar as well. And it runs off the alternator, so it keeps this battery topped up. Never had it run out of charge. So 100 amp hours works really well for me and just my partner when we go camping. Got the Bluetooth BT2 controller there, so I can access all the charge rate and everything like that on my phone. This is the fridge outlet. So I've got a bit of a cutout, as we can see here. Fridge will sit in here, and power outlet just straight into here. So it's nice and clean, and you don't see any cords hanging out. And then that cord actually just runs down through this little finger width gap here underneath the slide. Alright, we've got fuse block at this point. Nothing too crazy on here. The only things running off it is the lights, the camp lights, and it's also then running just a couple of temporary, because I was in a bit of a rush when I built this to get out camping. I've just got USB outlet and a 12 volt socket just hanging in here at this point. They will be mounted or hard mounted into the side of this battery box as well, so that'll be happening in this next episode too. Solar input, okay, there, and switches. It does bug me that these switches are actually a bit of a manufacturing fault, and they're both currently off. However, one of them has a light that turns on down here and the other's up that way, and no, they're not just flipped around spun around, they're actually correctly mounted, but the pins are opposite. So I'll be getting new ones for that. But essentially what these do, this is for the left hand side of the vehicle, okay, which is that side, and we've got the right hand side of the vehicle over this way. So if I was to flick the switch on, okay, we'll see I can have a light going on and off. I'll show you those in a second when I hop out. And then this side, again, same thing here, nice and bright. I'll show you that too. So this left hand side of the vehicle sneaks out underneath the awning, so when I have my Dacia awning out, this light will shine out under it, which is perfect for nighttime camping, quite bright. And over this side, that's why we have one on the right hand side, and you can see how much it really lights that up over here, which is great. And then in terms of how it charges then, these two connectors here, I'll try and focus it, sorry. There we go. These two connectors here go to the steady camp lights. So if I was to take this box out, I just need to disconnect these, which are quick connects, so that I can disconnect the actual lights and take this whole box out without having to cut wires or anything like that. And this 50 amp Anderson plug here is what the Renogy DC MPPT runs through, and back to the alternator and main battery. So again, I can disconnect that and pull the power, so I can disconnect it so that it doesn't constantly pump power into the battery as well, or if I remove the battery box. All of that runs then down here underneath all the trim. It runs down along the floor, up through the dash, and out to the front of the car. Yeah, I almost forgot as well, because it is so well hidden. In this little compartment here, which normally has your tyre changing tools, etc., I have essentially mounted a air compressor, or at least the air compressor lines. Okay, and I've got a tyre air compressor there, or I've just even got a little mini sort of airline and switch, which will turn the air compressor on. Alright. Okay, that comes out behind the tail light, down behind the bumper, behind this rear tyre here, and that's the airline there, protected by a little bit of corrugated tubing. Runs along the chassis all the way up to the front, up into the engine bay, and then into the main battery where it is connected, just because I didn't want the high amps from the air compressor going through this main lithium battery here. I don't think it'll be too healthy for it. But I've also got the actual air compressor mounted in the engine bay. In the dual battery slot that is in the engine bay, mounted it there as I wasn't using it, because I have the lithium battery back here. And that's pretty much it at this present moment. Work in progress, still a lot to go, a lot to work on. I'm excited for it, so please stay tuned. I do try and pump out videos once a week if I can. Might miss a week here and there, but I do try my best to get one video a week. Cool. Alright guys, so if this here is something that interests you and you like what I'm doing at the moment, and you want to see me build a fridge box, a second drawer over here with slides, okay, and have a nice flat platform on top, might build some wings as well, okay, and expand my 12-volt system. If that's something that interests you, consider subscribing, alright, because that's all coming up in very soon, sort of in the next couple of weeks. Or if you like what you see over here and you want to build something for yourself similar, you can see how I build this workbench on my channel as well. So jump over to the project build, check that out. Same thing here with my screw organization, where you can pull out whatever you need when you need it, or if you even want to just see how I build a shelf there as well. That is all on the channel, so please consider subscribing. Like this video if you like what you see, and I'll see you in the next one.